Well, as we get later on in the preseason, how are you feeling about how things have gone for you so far and the opportunity that's still in front of you here?
Yeah, it's been good. I think just building off each day. The group's been doing a good job of that as well. We're getting better throughout the days and practices and games. So it's been pretty exciting to see how guys are kind of getting better, seeing what they can do, and it looks like we got a good group of guys here.
I know we probably shouldn't read too much into preseason lines, but skating with a couple of pretty good players at practice today, what does that do for your confidence of, being given that opportunity, even if it is just in practice?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good players out on the ice, and it's pretty cool when you get to mix and match pieces like that. And playing with Hedel and Garland, they're great players. They're smart, and just trying to be able to help them out when I can, and just being flexible. And like I said at the start of training camp, I just want to be a guy that can fill in any part of the lineup. So just help those guys out.
You never want to see a teammate get hurt, but with a guy like Hoglander going out, there's increased opportunity on the wing as well. Is that something that you're keenly aware of, while also wanting all your teammates to be healthy and in the lineup at the same time?
Yeah, I mean it's unfortunate, but he's doing well. He's getting better now, and guys here have to step up and help him out and help the team out. And I think it's good that we got a good group of guys, and things that guys did last year. It's important that they take a chance to seize this moment and kind of take advantage of what the opportunity's been given.
I mean, the organization's doing its part to try to build the best depth possible. How would you characterize the nature of the competition at this camp, maybe compared to the last couple that you've been at?
Yeah, I think this has been the most competitive one yet. There's a lot of good players, even guys you don't expect, like Cooch coming in. He's a super young kid. He just got drafted, and he's pushing for a spot as well. And there's guys like me and Carly who've been here for a while pushing for spots. So it's a good competitive nature, and we kind of knew that coming in here that it's going to be competitive, and that's what makes everybody better at the end of the day.
Does waivers change the dynamic for you at all? Like, does that cross your mind in any way that things are different now because you require waivers?
Yeah, that might play an aspect. I never really haven't yet thought about it, but that's always a possibility that other teams out there are looking into guys, seeing what other guys could do, and I'm sure we're doing the same thing, looking around to see other guys. So it is an aspect of the game, and you don't really want to be in that spot, but things happen.
So you practiced a little bit on the penalty kill today. Is that something that you're looking to add to your game at the NHL level to hopefully stand out?
Yeah, for sure. I think that's how I came into pro and Abbey. I had to learn how to penalty kill, and then kind of built off that. And I think a lot of guys here take pride in that, and they've tend to be a good penalty killing team. So I try my best to kind of be able to be put in this position to kind of get out there and be a utility for them. And if I get a chance to do that, I'll take it.
What do you take from last Calder Cup run, heading into training camp preseason now to hopefully boost your stocks and make the roster?
Yeah, I think in that run you played a lot of important hockey. Like, it was so competitive, and every single thing mattered. And when you come into the NHL, you realize game one, it matters right away. You got to get ahead of it. So me and the guys learned a lot throughout that run, and we're super grateful for that. And that's kind of why we're all in this position right now to be fighting for these spots. We earned that last year, and we're here now, and we're trying to make a jump.
I wanted to ask you about Braden Coots. How impressed are you with his continued play through the preseason here? I think there's been a lot of talk about him trying to earn another day, but he continues to do that and is still a big part of the conversation here.
Yeah, he's been really good, and again, what's interesting is a lot of times with younger players, the more you kind of watch them in video and look back, sometimes those younger player habits kind of creep up, and you see maybe the gaps in their game that they need to improve on. He's been the opposite. And every time we've looked at video, it seems to be him on there doing the right things. So, yeah, obviously the goals are nice, but it's all the other little things that he definitely plays at a maturity level that's beyond his age.
I know he's a first-round pick. How rare is that to see from an 18-year-old to have that level of hockey IQ and understanding to his 200-foot game, not just offensive?
Yeah, it's usually in junior they're asked to score so much, right? That maybe that other part of the game isn't taken care of as much. So very impressive by him. But on the other thing is that hockey IQ is a lot of it is it can be improved and worked on, certainly, but a lot of it you get kind of given, and so obviously he's been given a great dose of that, and he showed it so far.
Brett, could you just explain sort of the logistics of how you guys handled the numbers in practice today. A couple of guys missing. Coots was in a black jersey and not doing much for the first half. Just explain to us what you were trying to do today.
Yeah, just obviously with this time of year, it's a little bit awkward in that, and that you've got 5 lines or even more, and then we weren't sure who was. Some guys took maintenance days the other day and are working through little training camp type injuries, so you don't quite know the exact numbers until practice starts, which is rare. So yeah, we had the 5 lines going, and we thought we'd have 8D. Thankfully, we had 9D, because that's always good to have more healthy guys out there. So we were just kind of working through those numbers and trying to make sure everybody gets as many reps as we can. And we said to a few of the guys, like, there's lots of competition here. Don't look at the lineup and think anything toward that. We're just looking at different combinations and different things. So lots in flux right now, but yeah, that's kind of how we just worked it out, and we were happy with how it worked out.
Sasson and Kravtsov, they're okay. They set out the main practice.
Yeah, just again, there's lots of numbers, so we just didn't want to have too many bodies on the ice. But again, those are 2 guys that we talked to that in our whole group we've been happy with to this point.
How did Joe LeBay figure into the plans then after being put on waivers?
Yeah, that's just one of those things with some guys. That's the other part of the conversation I didn't touch on with the last question, is that there's the waiver conversation, and some guys need it, some guys don't, and it's just more probably looking toward tomorrow's lineup, and he's someone that we're looking at as a possibility for tomorrow's lineup as well. So.
On that topic, most of your top guns have only played the 1 game here on Friday. You've got 2 to go. Do you anticipate moving forward with like the top of your lineup in both of these games, or are you still at a point where you're kind of going to mix and match?
Well, as I touched on earlier, some guys dealing with a little nagging injury, so that factors into it. Also, don't want to play guys too much, but yeah, we're definitely looking to play more of our guys, so to speak, in these last 2 games, no question.
O'Connor was effective Sunday with Lecomandic and Coots. What do you see in a big guy like that who can play the wall and help drive the play? What are your impressions been of him?
Yeah, I mean, he's long, moves well. He's got himself some chances, and he really done some good things on the offensive side of the puck, which is we're pushing him. You need players in his role to contribute that as well. Also, obviously, with that big frame, to be consistently really hard to play against, and make sure he's going through the opposition defenseman on our breakouts, things like that, being really difficult to play against. We talked to him about that early on in the Edmonton game, and he really came through in that game, really stepped up his game, and was a real impact player there in the second half. So it was a good game for him. Yeah.
With Höglander out until potentially December, how does that kind of impact your roster and how you guys are going to handle the waiver situation?
Yeah, now it's like I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of good play that's been going on here. And so the competition is wide open, and it's just going to continue to be that way here for the next week and until we move into the regular season. That's not going to change. They've got a lot of great players in this camp, and a lot of great young players that we're very happy with. So the competition is open, and it's going to continue here for the next little bit.
Is that the message to some guys that may end up in Abbotsford before the start of the season, that just because you start the year in Abbotsford doesn't mean you need to finish the year there?
No question. That's it. And you see it every single season. Within a day, 2 days, a week, a month, there's guys going up and down. So make sure that you're making a good impression here. And if you're not on our opening day roster, that doesn't mean you're not there a day or 2 days or one week later. So we're looking at every single rep here, and it's been exciting so far, and we'll keep pushing them to finish it the right way.
I know you weren't here a year ago, but it's a very different preseason the way it's structured. I'm sure you reviewed it with Adam, but 5 games in a week last year, and they had so many players to stock those lineups that they felt that maybe the preparation for game 1 wasn't where it could have been just because of the logistics. Now you've got a lot of practice time, only 2 games left, a lot of time still before your opener. I'm guessing that was by design. And how close are you to dialing in where you want to be as a team?
Yeah, we're very happy with the schedule there, and we've looked at it quite a few times, and did actually this morning the number of practices we have, and we've actually specified for each practice the type of system and what we wanted to work on so that we make sure we touch on everything before the start of the regular season. So that's been nice for us, and getting this practice time as well as these 2 games this week to really make sure the guys are all getting the reps that they need in games and in practice, but also that we're getting the reps as far as how we want to play, and we're able to touch on all those systems because we all know how important a good start to the regular season is.
Do you feel the urgency going up? Like yesterday was a big day. Did you feel another level of urgency in practice today?
Yeah, we were very, very happy with practice today. I think it was about halfway through, we kind of looked at each other, the coaches, and we said, geez, this is really good. We were very happy, and it was urgency, to your point. It was execution. It was being dialed into what we've been asking the guys to do. So I think it was kind of a good little break almost from the end of training camp a little bit, and having that day off. Last week was a long, hard week for a lot of guys. Having that day off and then come back fresh today, and you could see they were fresh of mind and they were fresh of body, and it was a really, really strong day. So a really good start to this week.
One of the guys competing for a roster spot, Arshdeep Bains, you saw him penalty kill today. Is that somewhere you see him in the NHL, like playing that role?
Well, he penalty killed in the Abbotsford game, I believe, and did a real good job in Abbotsford last year on the PK, all reports say. So he's one of those guys that obviously we know he scored at every single level, and he's got those offensive skills. But to be an everyday NHL guy, you've got to bring different things. So it's good to try him on the PK at this level and see whether he can contribute there too. So it's just he's another one of those guys that's been really good, and we'll continue to see where he's at here this next week.
How important is the penalty kill in some of those decisions you're making, quote unquote, at the bottom of your lineup in terms of, you're not just going to be a guy that plays a shift on the 4th line. As you said, you have to bring more to your game, and the penalty kill certainly is an area where you lost a couple guys from last year, and there's some spots open there.
Yeah, certainly a factor is making sure we've got enough good bodies for the PK, but it's more the guys that are maybe down the lineup. You've got to bring something, right? You've got to bring an element to the team, whether it's PK, physicality, speed, scoring, whatever it may be. So that's why we continue to try different guys in all different roles, so that when we're making those decisions on those depth players, that we are sure what they're bringing to our team.